Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of Nikola Tesla. This is the brilliant architect behind the electrical systems that are literally powering the device you're using right this very second. Tesla once famously said, "The present is theirs, the future, for which I really worked, is mine." I mean, wow. That quote just perfectly captures the essence of a guy who imagined our modern world decades before it actually existed. Few inventors have shaped human civilization quite like him, laying the groundwork for everything from the AC power grid to wireless communication. But this brings us to a massive paradox, and it's what we're going to explore today. How on earth did a man who died in relative obscurity with very limited financial means manage to literally invent the future? How did his mind work, and what exactly did he leave behind for humanity? To answer that, let's start at the very beginning with Section 1, the mind of a genius. Born back on July 10th, 1856 in Smiljan, which was part of the Austrian Empire back then, Tesla was the son of an Orthodox priest. But he actually credited his mother for his astonishing creativity. She was uneducated, sure, but she was a highly inventive woman who designed her own household tools. And Tesla's intellect? It was truly off the charts. He had this extraordinary memory and mathematical capability where he could visualize complete, complex machines entirely in his head. He claimed he could build, test, and refine full prototypes mentally before ever touching a single piece of physical material. Throw in some relentless self-study and a deep fascination with electricity, and you have the makings of a true visionary. That brings us to Section 2, the War of Currents. So, in the late 1800s, electricity was just becoming commercially viable, but we faced a massive technological hurdle. How do we efficiently transmit all this electricity over really long distances? Well, this sparked one of history's greatest and honestly most ruthless technological rivalries. This wasn't just some polite scientific debate, it was an all-out corporate war. On one side, you had Thomas Edison pushing for direct current, or DC, and on the other, Nikola Tesla, who was absolutely convinced there was a better way: alternating current, or AC. The technical differences really highlight why AC ultimately won the war. See, with Edison's DC, electricity flows in only one direction, kind of like a battery. The big problem there? It suffers massive energy losses over long distances, meaning you'd need to build super expensive generating stations every few miles. But Tesla's AC continuously reverses direction, usually 50 or 60 times a second. This meant it could easily be transformed to higher or lower voltages, making it incredibly cheap and efficient to transmit across vast distances. Edison actually went on this aggressive public campaign to smear AC as dangerous, but the sheer economic and technical advantages of Tesla's system were just undeniable. Let's dive into Section 3, the AC power revolution. Because, you see, Tesla didn't just sit around theorizing about AC, he actually engineered the practical systems to make it work. The real game changer here was his absolute mastery of electromagnetism. Building on earlier discoveries, he achieved something that honestly seemed a bit like magic at the time: the rotating magnetic field. Instead of using clunky mechanical switches to make a motor spin, he figured out that multiple AC currents could create a magnetic field that appears to rotate all on its own, dragging the rotor right along with it. It was just a stunningly elegant solution. Before Tesla came along, electric motors were kind of a mess. They required physical brushes that threw off sparks, they needed constant maintenance, and they were terribly inefficient. But by applying his rotating magnetic field, Tesla invented the AC induction motor. He completely ditched those sparking brushes. What he got was a motor that was brilliantly simple, highly reliable, and incredibly efficient. And get this, millions of these exact types of motors are running around the world right now, powering everything from huge factory machines to the air conditioner sitting in your window. Tesla's vision leaped from patents to reality incredibly fast. By teaming up with George Westinghouse, who totally recognized his genius and bought a bunch of his patents, Tesla scored a massive historic triumph in 1895. His AC system powered the world's very first major hydroelectric station right at Niagara Falls, and it successfully sent electricity all the way to Buffalo, New York. That single event proved that large-scale, long-distance power distribution wasn't just a pipe dream, it was economically viable. It basically birthed the modern electric power industry. Now, let's look at Section 4, the wireless dream. Having totally revolutionized electrical power, Tesla shifted gears to his most futuristic sci-fi ambitions. He invented the now iconic Tesla coil. It's a resonant transformer that generates insanely high voltages and high-frequency alternating currents. Now, beyond just making those cool lightning-like electrical arcs you've probably seen in science museums, the Tesla coil actually cracked the door wide open for some profound radio research and high-voltage wireless experiments. All this research built up to his most ambitious project yet, the Wardenclyffe Tower. Think about this. Long before smartphones or Wi-Fi were even a blip on the radar, Tesla was envisioning global connectivity. In 1898, he even demoed one of the world's very first radio-controlled boats. He steered a machine without wires in front of an absolutely stunned audience. He literally foresaw the wireless transmission of information and even toyed with the potential of wireless power distribution. Sadly, financial troubles meant the Wardenclyffe project was never completed, but his ideas completely anticipated the hyper-connected world we live in today. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, Tesla's modern legacy. And this is where we see why his journey matters so much to all of us today. Over 300 patents. The sheer volume and diversity of his inventions is just staggering. We are talking breakthroughs in X-rays, turbines, fluorescent lighting, high-frequency generators, and remote control systems. His brain was just a relentless, unstoppable engine of invention. But that begs a pretty big question. With a resume like that, why wasn't he incredibly wealthy? Well, the reality is that Tesla prioritized pure invention over solid business strategy. He ended up selling off some of his most valuable patents early on just to fund his next projects. He poured money into visionary research that was commercially way ahead of its time, and he constantly struggled to keep his funding afloat. Ultimately, he passed away in New York City in 1943, with very limited financial means. So, what can we actually take away from Tesla's life? First off, think beyond your time. It's that relentless scientific curiosity that really drives innovation. Second, engineering matters immensely, because turning a theory into a reality is what actually changes civilization. But crucially, and this is a big one, vision alone just isn't enough if you don't have a solid business strategy to back it up. Ultimately, though, I think his life shows that a true legacy isn't about personal wealth. It's measured by the lasting value you create for humanity. Today, his name is literally cemented in science as the SI unit of magnetic flux density. It's in countless textbooks, and yes, it's on the electric cars driving down your street. But his real legacy is everywhere. I mean, without his work, modern society would be unrecognizable. Every single time alternating current flows through a power grid to light up your city, run a hospital, or just charge your phone, you are experiencing the direct result of Nikola Tesla's extraordinary vision. So I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Considering he was able to imagine our wirelessly connected, electrified world more than a century ago, if Nikola Tesla could see our world today, what on earth do you think he would invent next? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and always keep questioning the world around you.